Hi, this is Lauren from getmegeeky.com, and this is a blog post on how to start a blog using Bluehost and WordPress. Bluehost being the hosting server and WordPress being the blogging software. So let's just start with what is Bluehost. People kind of know what blogs are, but what is Bluehost? Bluehost is a hosting server, which means that that's where your files are kept online, and that's how your blogging platform is going to function. In order for a website to work, you have to have it on a server somewhere that it can be pushed out to the world. So we're going to learn a little bit about that more, and then I'm going to walk you through actually setting up your WordPress blog through Bluehost step by step. So let's just take a look at this. I find that it's a little bit easier to think of the web almost like a book. So a book has pages, and on those pages are words. So similar to that, a website has files, and on those files are code. So pretty similar situation. So therefore you can almost think of a server like a book. A server can get out to a lot of people, whereas a book just goes to one person, but it's a similar thing. The words are the language of the book, and the code is the language of the site, and the book is what holds them, and the server is what holds them. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense to you. So talking about the server, as I said in the last screen, is what holds all the files. And from that server, which is not located in your house, that's what Bluehost does. It basically is kind of similar to a hard drive, but it's a hard drive that can project out into the world. And from that server, you can host several websites. So here you have different websites, and they are being hosted all by the same server right here. You get your files from your computer, over to the server. The good news is with Bluehost and WordPress, they are such a match made in heaven that Bluehost makes it very easy for you to just install WordPress right onto the server with a one-click process. So you don't have to go with this FTP, uploading, if you've ever heard of that, or anything like that. So very easy to do. So excuse some of my messiness and handwriting. All right, so let's move it on here. Okay, and here we have the server again, and just to show you, to reiterate how this is all going to work. First you're going to have some code, some files here, and then they're going to get pushed to the server, and then out on the other end you are going to have your fabulous website. And just to clarify, the website is what's driven by WordPress, and the files are what's hosted by Bluehost. So I hope that gives you a little more clarification on the relationship between the two. Now we're going to go over and walk through the process of setting that up. Alright, here we are at www.bluehost.com, and we're going to learn about going ahead and signing up for hosting, and then taking the next step to run one of their simple scripts, which is going to allow us to get a WordPress site up and running on our own hosting server versus a WordPress.com site, which is owned by WordPress versus being owned by you. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and start with the Sign Up Now button. It's going to take us to a screen over here. There's two options here. If you need a domain name, it's probably best, if you haven't gone, to make sure go to GoDaddy.com and just look and see if your domain name is available. Bluehost will tell you that as well. If you've already bought a domain name in the past and you just weren't ready to quite get set up yet, then you use this box over here, and as you'll see right here, it says Bluehost will provide you with the information you'll need to transfer your domain. So we'll get that taken care of. So let's just pretend though we're going to go ahead and just start right off the bat with the domain name here. So as I've used in other tutorials, I'm going to use the domain Pickled Pink Jars, and go to next. All right, and then this is a pretty basic setup right here as far as just your name, email address, all the typical information. Upgraded Pro package, if you're just getting started, don't go down this road yet. There's probably nothing you really need here. Just stick with the basics. So watch right here, the account. This is going to go 12-month price, 24-month price, 36-month price, and then the Pro 12-month price, which is $20 a month. So you probably just want to go ahead and stick with the 12-month $6.95 price. You just don't know how everything's going to go, so it's kind of a good idea to just start with the minimum. You can always increase later. These little things here, site lock domain security, backup pro, probably not necessary to get started. Maybe something you want to look into down the road if you've really built a massive blog with tons of information. But for now, you can stick with it. If you really want to do this domain privacy, it's basically saying that it protects who owns a domain name, your information from being public. That's up to you. So it's $10 if you want to go ahead for it. But I probably will choose not to. So then we just get down here to the billing information, and then now that we've put all the payment information in, we're going to get taken to this next screen here. Because I did decide to register with a domain, and I didn't already have one, it's going to kind of try and upsell me here for some other domains. Unless you really think someone else is going to try and grab that pickledpinkjars.net and become your main competition, probably not necessary to get any of these other domains, and you have to kind of judge it based off your company. If you're a long-standing company that's just getting into the web world and you want to kind of grab all the different domains, it's always, it can make sense. Just take note that the .org domain is typically for a nonprofit, so that's just something to keep in mind. All these other things are, again, sort of just upsales. You can add them later if you want to. Site backup and restore tool, definitely something to consider, but when you are just getting started and you really got nothing on your site, it's not as crucial as it may be down the road. So certain things, again, it's just something that you may need to add a little bit later, but I just encourage you as someone that's sort of just a micro business to scale back on these costs as much as possible and really just get the minimum to get started. So we can talk more in depth about some of these things in another video cast. So we're going to say no upgrades this time. Okay. So congratulations, it's been successful. It's going to send me an email and just has some information on there. So we're going to go check our email, and let's take a note right here. Choose a password for your account. Before you can log into your account or use new hosting features, you first need to create a secure password. So let's go ahead and create that. Okay, so now I've got to enter my new password to log in. All right, here we go. So we can go ahead and say, you can put business, it's more just for their records. It's not, you don't need to know this. right now, or choose the right. There's no right or wrong answer. So you can go ahead and put business if this is what you're going to use, or you can just put individual, personal, if this is what you're going to use. So, or we can just say no thanks for right now. Okay, great. Now, Bluehost is mainly run from the cPanel right here. It's kind of just like your dashboard, if you will, your landing spot. This is where you're going to do most of anything you need to get done management-wise of your site. So there's a lot up here. It can be very overwhelming, and I will take another video segment to sort of go through all of the cPanel. But for right now, let's just dig in and look at how we're going to set up a WordPress account. So scroll down to Site Builders, and you're going to see WordPress. Click on that. Okay, this is going to allow us to install WordPress. So basically what we're saying is we're going to accept the terms of agreement in installing WordPress. WordPress is, I believe, the best blogging software out there. It has a lot of flexibility as far as themes, plugins, widgets. It's very strong. It's written on a very strong platform. It's continually updated, and for lack of a better term, just well respected among the search engine world. So, which does make a difference. So let's go ahead and click install. Okay, we're going to pick the stable version, and we want this to be installed just right here on our main domain. Perhaps sometimes somebody might want to install it on, say, a folder called blog or something like that. But if you want your blog to basically be the main site, then that's where you want to go ahead and have it installed. So we can go ahead and generate a random password, and we're going to call our site Pickled Pink Jars. Okay, so here what these are is additional plugins and themes. There's thousands of plugins and themes. Ones that they've got checked for us to have already is a commerce theme, and it's the fastest way to start selling on your WordPress site. It's integrated with PayPal. There are several of these plugins. I would really encourage you to do your research before you decide to just go with one, and make sure that what you need is going to work best with this WordPress site and walking through. So we'll go ahead and we're going to take that commerce one off because I'm not really quite ready to use the commerce one. I want to do my research first. We will keep this small business theme, and we'll keep that theme on there. Theme basically is just it's the design. It's what makes your WordPress look the way it looks and have certain widgets and certain functions to it. So you can change your theme. There's themes that are free, there's themes that are for sale, and that's what a theme is. So we'll go ahead and just leave that theme right there, and we're going to go ahead and not really get into this iPhone app thing quite yet. So we've read all the terms and conditions, and we are going to complete this. Okay, so this takes a few minutes. It's not long, but it may take just a minute or two to get it up and running. Okay, now we are up and running with our WordPress installed. So let's just go see how it looks. Great, Pickled Pink Jars. It is up there. Now this is the theme that was sort of default, and we can change the way all this looks, but we do in fact have a website called Pickled Pink Jars running, and ready to be used. Here we go. Also important on this little thing right here is all WordPress admin sites are at wp-admin. So if you're looking for your admin side, right here. Now, note that it gave this password admin and gave a password. You need to write this down, put this somewhere. especially if you had just a random one generated and you didn't make up your own, because you're going to be looking for that. This is going to log us into our backside dashboard. This is going to be a whole different video a tutorial. We'll dive into the dashboard side of WordPress. But for today, I think we've accomplished our task, which is to get a WordPress blog up and running using Bluehost. I hope that this was helpful. Please come visit me over at www.getmegeeky.com. I also have a written form of this post with just some screenshots and stuff to complement this video. So please feel free to come over and take a look at that. In addition, I have all the links that you are going to need when you're getting ready to get started. So thanks again for stopping by.